Record. So if you don't know me, my name is Kelley Smith. I have been with Prove It since September. How did I find out about Prove It? I actually found out about ketones. So I really had no idea what Prove It was, what ketosis was. But my husband was in recovery from a really bad accident. 2 years ago in April, he fell off a second-story roof onto the concrete. He fell about 24 feet, and he was basically Humpty Dumpty. So he broke all 4 of his long bones in numerous places. He had open fractures in all 4 limbs, broke his arms, legs, knees, elbows, everything. So our world literally was rocked that day, and everything changed for us. So he was in the oil field at the time. Great job. We had, we have a large family, 5 kids. So that was a huge, huge turning point for us, not only financially, but just mentally, emotionally. So he was in recovery for a really long time. He's had 15 surgeries. He has, I jokingly call him the bionic man because he's held together by rods and screws and pins and really cool artificial joints and things like that. So when we were seeing lots of surgeons and lots of specialists, a few of them mentioned ketones because they have an anti-inflammatory aspect. So I started just researching everything I could find on the internet, which there's lots and lots of information. And I had no idea because I had never heard of a ketone. I didn't know what it was or how it worked, but I was like a Google crazy person. I was Googling everything and reading everything I possibly could. And I found an article on PubMed, started reading it, which really, really got me excited. And so I wanted to find how I could get my hands on ketones. Oddly enough, I really think it was a total God thing, but I was uploading a video to YouTube one afternoon, and I happened to see the campfire video on the side of my YouTube channel. So I clicked on it. I watched the video probably 10 times. And I thought, oh my gosh, I think this is ketones. Like, I need to find out what this is or how I can get a hold of it. Long story short, I had a girlfriend on my Facebook page that was actually with Prove It, and I had no idea. I never saw her posting anything about Prove It with the name Prove It, so I didn't recognize it right away until one day she said something about ketones, and I thought, oh my gosh, she has what I need. And so I reached out to her. Her name is Casey Self. Most of you know her. And so I just started talking to her about ketones and how I could get my hands on it. She introduced me to a gal named Natalie. Natalie's husband was also going through some recovery from a back injury. So long story short, she sent me some product. I gave it to my husband, and our minds were just blown. He had an incredible experience pretty immediately, probably 3 days in to drinking the Keto Max. We saw some radical changes. He was not as swollen in the evenings. He was moving around easier. Typically, it would take him an hour and a Percocet to get out of the bed in the mornings. That was a typical routine. He was in a wheelchair. He had been on narcotics for 18 months. So to see that much change in such a short amount of time, we were like, just mind blown. So I knew there was something to ketones. So I wanted to keep giving them to him. I hadn't even tried it yet at that point. I just thought it was good for him. Like, I didn't think that I needed them, but shortly after I started drinking them as well. He started with Keto Max. I started with the Orange Dream. I did not have the same immediate response that he did, but about a month into it, I was hooked. I had lost 20 pounds and didn't even realize that I had lost 20 pounds. I realized that I was sleeping through the night. I realized I had control over food. So it's amazing what ketones have done for my husband and I. So we were like all in 100%. We said, this product is legit. We wanted to jump in with both feet because we saw what the product could do. So September 15th, I joined Prove It and literally have just not looked back. We've had a crazy whirlwind. We've loved it. We've just had so much fun, and we've grown a really, really big business in a really, really short amount of time. So we've been super blessed. But really, the fact that we've been able to grow a quick business as big as we have, there's one reason for that. It's not that the business is simple. It's not that the company is awesome. It's not that I'm super skilled or a good salesperson. Number one thing is that the product does what it says it does. It literally works, and ketone energy is the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in my life. So I know for me, the business comes second. It's the product that fuels the business. So we just love it. I love learning from guys like Rob because, I'm so interested in the product because I've seen what it could do for my husband. And I've watched my entire team have very, very similar results or totally different, but even more amazing or even just as awesome. So love the product. I'm excited for Rob to kind of give you an idea of what it actually is. What is a ketone? How does it work? Why does it work? Why do you need it? And why I'm so passionate about it and why he's so passionate about it. So Rob, DeVore, thank you so much for jumping on with us. And I just can't wait for you to share your story and give us some insight on what ketone is and what they are and why ketosis rocks and why we're in love with this product.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Can you hear me okay, Kelley? Awesome. I want everyone to introduce themselves first before we go any further. All 150 of you. No, just kidding. So I've been around since the start, and I'll just give you my story in a nutshell super quick. So my dad had Alzheimer's. My mother died of cancer. My dad's mom died of cancer. I'm a lung cancer survivor. So I was super interested in why people got cancer and Alzheimer's. And so about 5 or 6 years ago, I started researching it. And if you look up Alzheimer's, it's AKA type 3 diabetes. And so everything you ran across, it was keto, ketones, ketosis, ketogenic diet, because basically what type 3 diabetes or Alzheimer's is the brain's not getting energy. And so ketones, because it's a better fuel source, doesn't require an insulin response. It can break the blood-brain barrier. Had this been around, who knows how many days, weeks, months I may have had with my dad. But unfortunately it wasn't. So I became very passionate about it. And then one of my friends called me up, one of my best friends, Brian Underwood and Michael Rutherford. And he said, Rob, what do you know about ketones? And I said, only everything, just because I've been studying them for a while. And he said, well, what if I told you you could drink them? And I would say, well, you can't. And I would say, you don't know what you're talking about. Long story short, I had a company, an apparel company named Prove It. And he said, well, if I can prove it to you, can we use the name of your apparel company for the name of this company? And you come help us market and launch it. And so, of course, I was sold because just like Kelley, super passionate for personal reasons. And if there's one thing I didn't want to do, and if you knew what I knew, if you're listening in, you would take this 2, 3 times a day, every day for the rest of your life. And it's real simple. I just don't want my kids to have their last memories the way I do of my dad, just laying in bed in a diaper, didn't know my name. And I don't want them to ever have to see that. And I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt, can't make any medical claims, but what all the research, what all the evidence suggests is that ketones don't do very well with, cancer doesn't do very well with ketones as a fuel source, whereas glucose, really cancer pretty much thrives. Alzheimer's, evidence suggests the effects are minimized. So all of a sudden, we've got this incredible product that, for the sake of this conversation here tonight, let's just assume that this product's as credible as it gets. And guys, I'm the guy at the back of the room. I don't believe there's any shortcuts, no, quick ways to do anything. So when I realized what this was, I had to tell everyone. And the difference between me and maybe someone that builds the business a little differently is, yes, of course, I'm passionate about that, but because of the personal application, being a lung cancer survivor, having family members that died of Alzheimer's, I want to be able to message this to people in a way that they can understand. And I don't do very many things well, but one thing I can do is take the complicated and make it simple. So I'm going to keep this real simple. We've got a product that ordinarily would take your body days to accomplish, and basically it's because our bodies are ketogenic. Let me say that again. Everybody on this line, your body is ketogenic, and what that means is it's ketone generating when it needs to be. In other words, we were created as, the way we were created was when we ran out of one fuel source, our body would supply the other. So pretend your body needs 1,500 calories a day and you only give it 1,000. Well, your body's going to make up those 500 calories. And the way it's going to do it is it's going to take it from you. whether it's breaking down lean tissue, protein, muscle, maybe it's using body fat stores. And so you've got this incredible fuel source called ketones, which were made to run on. Babies are born into ketosis. Breast milk's primarily ketones. So it's nothing new to the human body. We just never access our fat stores because of the carb economy. In other words, none of us really run out of fuel. None of us really starve. I did a 60-hour water fast, and everybody really that followed that, they got to experience what true endogenous internal production of ketones is. But what about the rest of us that, you know what, that's just not realistic. We're not going to starve ourselves. We're not going to ever eat a high-fat, low-carb diet to the point where we can follow it to a T and our body's making all these ketones. Well, we can get the benefit of these ketones by drinking a scoop of white powder mixed with ice water, shake, drink. And within 1 hour, 100% of the time, you're in a state of ketosis. So let me explain what that means. That means you have elevated level of blood ketones, okay? People confuse it with ketogenesis, which is when your body breaks down fat. Well,
no, you didn't plug it up, Mason. No, you didn't.
Hey, Mason. Uh-oh. Are we good? So the difference is this. You don't drink this because it burns body fat immediately. That's ketogenesis. You drink this because of the qualities it gives you. So what if, for a minute, you wanted to lose weight? Well, guys, that's just a simple formula, and I'm oversimplifying it. But when people tell me, hey, I've been taking this for 2 months and I've not lost a pound, it's because you're not eating accordingly. You're just eating too many calories. I don't care if they're fat calories, carb calories, ketone calories. You're taking in too many calories. You want to lose weight, don't eat as many calories. Well, the problem is we're addicted to sugar. You know, it's not illegal to be obese, but it's illegal to use cocaine. The problem is they're both addictive. One's just illegal and the other's not. So how are we going to break this pattern? Well, we can use the properties of ketones. Once, twice a day, we're going to kill your appetite. We're going to preserve and protect muscle. And I want you to think about that one real quick. The best way to lose fat is to keep muscle. The easiest way to keep muscle is to drink ketones. Guys, this is the greatest anti-aging product you'll ever see. Just go to a nursing home. What you don't see any muscle. Nobody's got muscle. Why? Because they haven't protected it during their life. Because they've never used ketones and they never accessed ketones. So we now have the ability to control your appetite, which controls your blood sugars, which controls the ups and downs. You know, essentially we just kill your addiction to carbs over the course of time. We improve what's called insulin sensitivity, meaning you don't have such a drastic response when you eat sugar, which, by the way, everything you eat, every calorie you consume becomes one of two fuel sources. It either eventually becomes ketones or becomes glucose. There is no other. So with that, people ask, well, why is this different? Guys, this is different than every other company because every other company, in fact, every product on every grocery store shelf is a combination of what are called macronutrients, protein, carb, fat, and micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. And I don't care if it's a direct sales company. I don't care if it's a grocery store. I don't care if it's Vitamin Shop or GNC. Every single product is just a different ratio of protein, carb, fat, vitamins, and minerals. You don't even get ketones from food. Food can ultimately convert to it, but that's how special this is. We don't even compete with food on the shelves of a grocery store. We certainly don't compete with other companies. And here's the coolest thing. We took this go-to-market strategy using a direct sales model, and people are always quick to say, like, are you guys idiots? Like, don't you know there's a stigma with that? Of course we do. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if I heard ketosis in an hour, I would have never believed it unless I tried it. So our go-to-market strategy was customer acquisition through education. And I want you to think about that for those of you that understand direct sales. Every other company uses distributor acquisition through opportunity. So like 80% of our company are customers. And when I say customers, I'm talking about people that, yeah, they became a distributor, but they don't qualify to earn a check, so we're going to call them a customer. That's not what we're saying. Yo, I have a lady here in little old Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina, who has 100 customers. She was so excited. Her name's Crystal Price. She didn't join for a year. She's got lupus. She kind of kicked the tires, then she finally went for it. I said, Crystal, just start drinking it. Don't worry about your diet. Just listen to your body. Eat when you're hungry, not when it's time. She's since gone off of barbiturates, Ambien, sleeping pills. She's gone off of all kinds of meds. We can't make claims, of course. Like, we get that. But you can just look at the research and see why all of that's happening. So, long story short, we've got something very special that you get to be a part of without the motive that's often associated with sales. Like, I want you to think about that. You can't prove to me that any protein shake is any better than the other. You can tell me all you want. You can tell me all the science. When it goes in my body, you can't prove to me that those 25 grams of protein were any better than what I bought at Costco. You just can't prove that. It very well may be, might taste better, could be better quality, but I don't know that. And all of a sudden I question your motive. Is it really the best product, or is it because you want me to enroll, tell my family and friends, and you earn commissions? And I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm just saying perception's reality in this industry, and we have completely changed that. And here's why. We just tell you what we give you, and we can prove it. You know, it's kind of funny that the name wasn't designed around the product. That just came later. It just so happens that within 1 hour, 100% of the time, one serving, I don't care who you are. If you don't believe me, I can take a before and after blood test. People say the urine test. I'm saying, let's do a really accurate test. And so, hey, for $5, $6, $4, hey, for free, if you're on our free product program, I can put ketones in your body at a level that matters 100% of the time with a single serving. It's up to you to decide if that's valuable. What I can tell you is the trend is like, I mean, it's like a hockey stick. I study Google Analytics. There is so much interest in ketones, ketosis, high fat, low carb. And here's the secret. We've got something that you can test against any other product. Guys, where there's a Coke, there's a Pepsi, where there's a Home Depot, there's a Lowe's. Doesn't matter. We want to be kind of the trendsetters. We want to stay ahead of the curve. But what we've got on every other company that's just kind of riding our coattails is education. I mean, we've got the best of the best that want to be on our stage and participate in our Keto Academy. It has nothing to do with learning sales. It has everything to do with educating people how this can help a 2-year-old with autism. It can help an 82-year-old with bad arthritis, early signs of dementia. It can help an NFL linebacker of the Carolina Panthers because he's scared to death of what's going to happen to his head when he retires from football and he's a good friend. And it can, you know, if you guys saw the post that I made today on Facebook, I have a buddy, Matt Kelley, said, look, I don't want anything to do with one of those pyramid MLM network marketing deals. But Rob, I trust you when it comes to my health. I said, Matt, great. What do you need? I just need to lose weight or I'm going to die. Okay, we can help you. Just drink ketones for 60 days. I don't want you to give me 5 days. I don't want you to give me 25 days. I don't want you to give me 48 days because I know the science and I know the body. Now, people have incredible results on day 1, hour 5, but I also know people that it took 37 days, 10 hours, and 9 minutes, and then all of a sudden it happened. Guys, the thing you don't have to wonder is, does science work? Science works 100% of the time. This is just science, and it's been around for a century. The reason all the experts are so excited is because they're not salesmen, they're scientists. And we're selling and sharing and educating the masses with their research that they're so passionate about. So if there's a level of credibility that we all have that we never want to compromise, you can't find a better opportunity, and you won't find one. I believe this. And guys, remember, I'm the guy, I hate network marketing. I hate sales. I can debate anyone about any product except this one because I can prove, you can just prove this, you can prove people wrong in their own blood, with their own eyes, right in front of them within 1 hour. Well, that's powerful. So I can't deny what it just did in my own body. And then I just go Google ketones and inflammation, fat loss, weightlifting, cancer, dementia. I mean, you name it, you're going to run across something that suggests and validates that you want it in your body. Well, we're the #1 supplier in the world with a conversation that'll be the biggest conversation over the next decade or two. And I can prove that by saying, go ask your neighbors, go ask someone in your church, in your workplace, in your neighborhood. Have you ever drank a protein shake? Have you ever had a protein bar? Just stop with those two. Everybody will say yes. Kids have had protein shakes. Adults have, everybody has had a protein shake. You ask those same 10 people, have you ever drank ketones? They don't have any idea what you're talking about, but here's why they're interested. Because they've never been able to do what we can offer. Like their entire life, like for decades, they've never experienced what we offer. And I can prove you're going to experience what we offer. And so it's created a tremendous opportunity. It's attracted everyone from research, ex-workout, prideful, arrogant, ego guys like me that have now set that aside for a better cause. It's attracted, y'all, people like y'all. I mean, you guys just work too much. Like, I don't want to work that hard. I heard you guys don't shower for days and you don't brush your teeth and barely even take your kids to school. I mean, I just don't want to do that. But I'm just kidding. I mean, so there's everything that you want here. There's the science, and then there's the simple. Like, I could be the most polar opposite person of Michael Rutherford, and that probably doesn't lend itself for me building a fast, big business to make a lot of money. But we all get our fill a certain way, and mine's just personal touch. Like, that's why I went into personal training. Michael helps thousands more, indirectly than I do. But I also think there's a role for people like me that are just passionate. And even if there's not a role, it still is not going to change what I do. But over the last 30 months, the stories that I can tell you, like, I'll say this. If you know an autistic child, shame on you for not telling their parents. If you know anybody with type 2 diabetes, shame on you, because they really don't need insulin if they follow direction. Now, we can't make those claims. I'm just telling you, I can put you on the phone with people after people after people. I mean, the video that just played. I mean, a little 4-year-old kid told his mom, I love you, for the first time in 4 years. I mean, he's 4 years old. She's never heard her little boy say, I love you, until he started drinking ketones. You can't make that stuff up. And so, Kelley, I don't know where else you want me to go. I will say this.
Awesome.
Wherever you're at, this is for you, because you have cells that respond better to ketones than they do sugar. And right now, all we're using is sugar. So put a PhD, an MD, a dietitian, a nutritionist in front of me. If they will endorse eating a sweet potato, broccoli, and chicken, they can't come up with a valid reason why they shouldn't endorse this. It's just a better fuel source. The cool thing is, now we get to benefit from both. And I think that's the sweet spot. I'm not a keto guy. I'm not a high-fat, low-carb guy. I mean, who doesn't love a bowl of Fruity Pebbles every now and again, right? And just being transparent. But this allows you to get away with some things and live the lifestyle. It gives you discipline that you ordinarily wouldn't have. I'm going to have to plug my phone. So, but that's okay. I'm going to walk into my kitchen. So, Kelley, if there's any questions or anything.
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding me? You're awesome. No, I mean, I seriously love that. Like, it literally, I don't even, sometimes like just watching my own team testimonials, like not even people out in the community, but just like my own personal team, I'm just in awe of the things that are happening. And literally it's exactly what you said. It's like babies, like we have 18-month-old children running around in ketosis and loving ketones. And then we have like 92-year-old great grandmothers that are drinking ketones. So I just don't know of anything else ever that's been out and on the market that has the benefits that ketones have. I just don't. I've never heard of anything. I've never seen anything like it. I think what you touched on, the education part of Prove It, I think that alone sets us apart. Yeah, there's tons of money that is being made in this business and this industry, but it's what the product is doing that really fuels our business. It's not about the flashy stuff. That's all fun. We all like that and can enjoy that, but at the end of the day, it's the personal stories is what helps our business grow. I know for me, I would have never jumped into this business unless I absolutely loved and believed in the product. I just wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been for me. But because I saw a change in my husband, because I saw a change in myself, I mean, let's just get real. I'm Southern and we love food. Like, we like to eat. We celebrate with food. We cry with food. We just love food, period. So I'm going to keep it real and say I don't eat ketogenic. I don't. I have made some changes, some slight changes here and there, but I still eat, what I want when I want for the most part. But the great thing about that is like Rob said, I can share a piece of cake with my daughter on her birthday and then drink a max, and in 30 minutes, I've got ketones running through my system. which is not an excuse to go eat junk food all the time,
Like
but
cookies.
it gives you that control that you didn't have before. I know it gave me the control that I did not have before. So now I can have one piece of cake or 2 Oreos instead of the entire pack, right? That's what it's all about, moderation. And I just think drinking ketones is, like Rob said, there's no other fuel, there's no other, sugar is never going to get you the same effect as ketones. So can you, Rob, really quick, will you touch just a little bit about what's the differences between Max and like what's your favorite, what's your kind of daily, drink of choice?
Sure. So the cool thing about the company, we haven't even really started, and we're breaking servers and setting records, and we're doing it the way network marketing or direct sales or pyramid deal, whatever you want to call this, we're doing it the way it was actually intended. People buying a product unattached to an opportunity. Well, that's 80% of these people, and we're breaking records because of that. Nobody's ever seen that. So we're in this iteration period where we started out, I think, with 1.0, or when I first started, it was 0.0, and you could barely drink it because it tastes so bad. So since then, we've created formulations that we own. So the Keto Max is something we own that we believe these patents will keep us ahead of the game for years to come. But we're not stopping there. So in the lab, Keto Max tests ketones higher, faster, and sustains them longer in the lab. But I'll tell you, you put 3 options out in 3 different people. Some people don't like the Max at all. They love the orange. Some people get queasy stomach on the orange because of the MCTs and they go to the bathroom. Well, those people, they love the chocolate swirl. The other people, you know what, they figured out how to use the keto cream and then, one of the other versions. So real simple, each version delivers ketones. Keto cream is not ketones, but it's high level of MCTs, which that's why you see coconut oil in all the grocery stores. Nobody even knows why, but it's everywhere because it converts easily into ketones in the right conditions. So what a lot of people do that drink coffee, they'll get up, they'll put a keto cream in their coffee, and then they're not going to eat for 3 or 4 hours. And then they go and they have a keto. Well, ordinarily, as a trainer, I'd say never do that because you're starving your body. You're going to create conditions in your body where your body just wants to survive. It doesn't care what it says on the scale, what you look in a swimsuit. It just wants to make sure it's got energy. So your body's going to start breaking down protein. Yes, a little body fat, but it'll break down protein if you're not giving it calories. The difference here is ketones are telling your brain, hey, we're fed. Okay, we're fed. So now all of a sudden your body doesn't start breaking down the muscle. It starts releasing the fat that your body can burn. So that's where it creates an energy imbalance. In other words, the person that says, I've taken this for 2 months and haven't lost any weight, it's because you're eating too much. And you're probably eating by habit. And we could probably cut back if we tweaked your patterns a little bit. Because it really does kill your appetite, protects your muscle, gives you mental clarity. There's people that, have you ever heard someone, Kelley, that says the Max made them sleepy or tired or whatever?
Yes.
There's science behind that. So it increases what's called GABA, which typically those people, they're go-getters. Like they just don't shut down, right? They just go, 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 go. So this is going to have a reverse effect on them. But I guarantee you, everybody that says that, they're a go-getter. But in the same breath, they'll say, but I slept like a freaking rock. Okay? So they just back off of the dosage a little bit, and it becomes their best friend. So the difference between our products, 2.1 has fats in it. More caffeine in the charged version, so it's going to keep you fuller longer. Okay? 3.0 was our first version without using kind of the patent, the government patent that we have a license to, so we don't put MCTs in it. Okay? So a lot of people liked it because it was a different flavor. A lot of people liked it because we took out the component that would sometimes upset people's stomach. And then we put in what's called a short-chain triglyceride, which is just a fancy way of saying probiotics into your stomach, because gut health is probably what's wrong with most of us that aren't having success. Well, this product, I don't care what you think, what does improving gut health feel like in one serving? You can't feel anything. What does improving insulin sensitivity feel like? You can't feel anything. What does muscle preservation feel like? It doesn't feel like anything. Every one of those scientifically is happening with every single serving. You just don't know it yet. That's why I say, give me 60 days and it happens. Unfortunately, people self-sabotage themselves. They're used to the microwave mindset where it's just, hey, quick and easy. If I don't see results in 5 days or even 30 days, I'm just telling you, I've been here for 30 months. I know the science. If you give this if you give this 60 days, you'll take it for the rest of your life. Well, it's expensive. No, it's not. The only person that says it's expensive is they don't understand the value. Truly, they don't understand the value. It's expensive. Great. We have a 8-to-1 ratio customer to reps. So apparently we attract customers pretty easily. We'll go get you a free product, with our program. So and then the last one, Keto Max, is just our newest version. I think you'll see Keto Max in several flavors, but it's a work in progress. I think you'd be surprised that the Max is, I didn't know that it was going to be as high, but it's, I don't know, like 75% of the company's sales. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. So we've really started using that one. And guys, I can just tell you, it doesn't get more real than what I have access to. It's called an InBody 570 machine. It tests your body composition, your intracellular, extracellular muscle, your body fat, your dry lean muscle mass. And so I did a 7-day water fast just to see how much muscle I would lose. All I did was 1 can of Campbell's soup beef broth, which had nothing, and 3 keto a day. Now it was awful, but I lost 0.4 pounds of dry lean mass and like 8.5 pounds of pure fat. So if you want to wire your mouth shut and just drink ketones and want to lose 10 pounds in a couple weeks, you can do that. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. That was a joke.
It's so funny. Hey, really quick, I know I don't want to keep you too long, but a few hacks. So if someone says, okay, I'm going to try this product, I'm going to go with the orange, or I'm going to go with the Keto Max. I'm going to do 30 days, 100%, every single day. I'm going to take one in the morning. What's a few little tricks or hacks that's going to give them better success?
Okay, so there's a few. Number one, don't change anything the first 4 or 5 days. Everyone, and look, I'm responsible for this too. When we first launched, it was high fat, low carb, high fat, low carb. You got to start eating fat bombs. You got to start eating as much fat as that's just not the case the more we learn. And so one of the things I would say would be, don't make any dietary changes and focus on how long it suppresses your appetite. Eat when you're hungry, not when it's time. Increase water. And then one of the biggest things, if you want the secret trick, think of increase water, fiber, protein. Water, fiber, protein. That's the greatest thing you can do if you feel like you're not getting results. Okay, so for every gram of protein you add, right, pull out a gram of fat, right? For every gram of vegetable you add, leafy vegetable, and I hate green vegetables, but when you can cook them in butter, it's not so bad, okay? So load up on those, which is your fiber, and pull out some of the fat. The problem is I think people get fat happy, and they think it's just a free pass. Well, fat's twice the amount of calories as protein and carbs. And there is a psychological, if you really paid attention, you probably aren't as hungry as you think, but we're so patterned after decades that you just you pulled out carbs, which is 4 calories per gram, and added in 9 calories per gram. Now, that is the way to go, but you don't realize you didn't change any other behaviors. So you're actually adding calories in. That would be one of the hacks. The other hack would be get to 2 servings a day as fast as you can. If you knew what I knew, academia, those circles, they could give a flip about weight loss, fat loss. They're all about the brain. If you knew what this did to your brain, you would take 2 servings a day every day and figure out how to pay for it. And I'm just telling you, that will be the biggest differentiator for someone is 2 servings a day. So someone, like Matt, my big guy that's lost 80 pounds now, didn't want anything to do with the MLM pyramid deal. I just say pyramid deal because that's what a lot of people call it and they understand. Well, he's one of my better reps now. This is a guy that wanted nothing to do with it. But when it works, you become passionate and everyone starts asking, why are you different? Why are you walking away from carbs? Why are you, all he knows is because I'm drinking ketones. That's all he knows to say. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I want to touch on it one more time because I know a lot of people we know social media, it's just, you see one thing and a lot of people believe it to be the truth. Be careful with that because there is a lot of hype around fat, everybody eat fat bombs, and let's put heavy cream in all of our recipes and things like that. And those can be good things, but if your specific goal is fat loss or weight loss, you want the scale to move, then I would be mindful of adding all that fat.
Kelley, that's a great point. Like, I'm not even saying that's not where you're going to end up. I'm just saying you're not going to start there. Before adding in fat, let's pull out some carbs. Like the thing you should pull out quicker than anything is anything that has multiple ingredients and it's a carbohydrate. In other words, a lot of people disagree. I don't have a problem with rice if you flip over the bag and it says rice as the ingredient. But when you flip over organic, long grain, steam in the bag, Uncle Ben's, ready in 90 seconds, it's got 13 ingredients. That's not rice. So stay away from processed foods. Stay in kind of the perimeter of your grocery store. You should have to buy groceries, at least meat and vegetables, like weekly, right? Just because if not, it spoils or it goes bad or you have to freeze it. So high fructose corn syrup, which is in about everything. If you just pull that out, that'll help with your belly fat. A lot of people just don't realize it's in everything from ketchup to crackers and soy sauce and bread and everything in between. They're starting to pull it out because, the government's whole theory, like the whole food pyramid is about to flip upside down. So fat's not bad. I'm not saying you're not going to get to the point where you might need a fat bomb or you might need to add cream. We're just saying there's about 4 or 5 things that we want to change before you go, you go there.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I love that we talked about the brain because it's fuel, right? And that's like, it's literal food for the brain. Like you're feeding your brain and giving yourself a healthy brain. Like the fat loss is great. Like who doesn't want to, every woman on here is like, oh, I could lose 50 pounds or some men. That's like the lowest thing on the totem pole, seriously, of like what this product can do. And I love it that it can do that, but I never want to like focus on that because I have massive amounts of cancer in my family. That it's so if I look at my daughters, I have 5 of them and a grandson, and I look at them and I want to see everything about them grown up. I want to see them get married and have kids and do all those fun things. And I think if I can simply drink a Keto Max or an orange twice a day for the rest of my life and live 10 years longer or have more longevity, why wouldn't you? If you could put off those things by switching your fuel source to ketones versus sugar, like for me, it's a no-brainer. Like it's just that simple.
The one vanity thing that I think, because we're all about body composition, lose fat. But when we talk about the brain, everybody's heard of what's called free radicals, right? Mm-hmm. Well, free radicals are what cause skin wrinkling. It causes us to age. Look, here's the deal. When your body creates energy, it's called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's just a fancy, sciencey way to say energy that your body creates. When your body creates energy, it does create emissions like exhaust, okay? Well, when your body creates energy out of ketones, it creates a whole lot less exhaust in your system that we'll call free radicals, which those free radicals are what cause you to age, cause you to wrinkle, cause you to, just all these different things. So we don't see the biggest benefits that this offers because it's done at a cellular level. So people say, well, is this for me? Do you have cells? Yes, it'll make your cells healthier. The other finding that they're finding now is it increases brown fat cells, which most people have never heard what that means. We've got white fat cells and brown fat cells. White ones store the fat. Brown ones are thermogenic. So I'll give you an example. The whole thing about Michael Phelps, he swam in water, and they say there's no way he could not gain weight. He's eating 12,000 calories a day. Just mathematically, he has to be gaining weight. It doesn't make any sense. Well, brown fat cells, which he was loaded up on, because they're responsible for giving you heat, energy. Well, because he was in the cold water multiple hours a day, his body was like a dang furnace. And so it was possible. So You want another hack? Take a cold shower once or twice a day. Like literally, as silly as that sounds, force your body to create heat.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. I love it. Well, you're awesome, Rob. Obviously, you're doing really well in the business as well. I love that you were in from the beginning. You've been consistent, you've been faithful, you've paved the way for someone like me to come in a year after and be successful. So I thank you. I know my team thanks you for
Can I say one more thing? Because I never get to talk in front of this many people, so this is pretty awesome. Especially the Treble twins. I know they're probably on here. So the hack for them is this is the greatest hangover product. Like literally it is. College football weekend is when anyhow. So the one thing I'll say is this, y'all, is never close a door, because not everybody's ready for this conversation. Like I'm a believer. Like I believe everything happens the way it's supposed to. Like in the right time. So never close a door when someone's not interested. We take it personally, and you can't do that. Let me give you 2 examples. My business has changed my family's life forever, because a guy named Shane Frills said yes after 14 months. Now, 14 months. Well, if I had quit 9 months in, because it changed like tens of thousands of dollars difference in my income, because I just dripped on this guy. So never close the door. My business tip would be, hey, it's all about timing. You mind if I keep you on my short list and just send you something from now, every now and again? They've already told you no, they're not interested. They're not going to tell you no again. So I just dripped on Shane. Hey, here's the article. Hey, we just came out with a new flavor. Hey, we came out with keto cream, whatever that is. And it's doubled my income. The other one is Crystal Price. She's changed so many, she's got a passion for autistic children. She's changed so many lives here in Columbia, South Carolina. And she said no for a year. Like she needed it worse than anybody. She said no for a year. Now she's got 100 customers that she's just changed lives. So moral of the story is this isn't going anywhere. Time's on our side. Mass media is only going to be more prevalent about the benefits of what we're doing. So just stay the course, if nothing else. But for sure, drink these daily. Try to get to at least 2 servings a day as quick as you can.
Awesome. That's so true. I love that. Thank you, Rob. You were awesome. I know all of us misfits appreciate you jumping on with us.
I tell you.
We've been talking about it all week. I know that all the guests are excited to see and hear from someone who's been there from the beginning, who's seen the ups and the downs, and who's ridden the roller coaster. And because you walked it already, that there is nothing else like what we have. This company, this product, and we're leading from the front. We'll continue to lead from the front. We're so pro education. We have the best of the best in the industry, doing research and trials and, on our product. So it's pretty incredible what's in the pipeline for our company. So I'm not even going to touch on the business, because I just think, gosh, this is awesome Zoom, and we just nailed it with the product. So if you're interested in learning more about the products, whoever invited you, get back with them. If it's something you're like, holy cow, I have like 10 people who would love to try this, then get back with who invited you to the Zoom, and we can talk about, this awesome sale we're having right now, 25% off. You're crazy if you don't go buy ketones right now at 25% off. And if you want to know about the business, then let's chat and we can take you down that road as well. But Rob, thank you so much. I hope that you will do this again with us, because I know that we had so many people just hungry to hear from you. So thank you for giving up your time.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, Kelley. Take care.
You too. Good night. How awesome is Rob? Like, holy smokes, y'all. Like, I mean, some of y'all don't know the back history with Rob, but like, he's probably the most vested person in our product, period. Like, he's like the guinea pig of the product. He's been taking it from when it was in a little baggie, before it had a name, before it had a flavor, before it had anything. So he's consistent. He knows all about the body, all about ketones, what it's done, because he's taken it. So it's pretty incredible to hear from him. Obviously, ketones are becoming a hot topic. If Dr. Oz, the football players, like, freaking MMA fighters, all these people in the industry, in the sports industry are coming out saying, hey, I'm using Keto Max, or hey, the front line of the Detroit Lions are all taking Keto Max. Like, that's huge. Like, that says a lot about our products and what it's doing in the industry and in the marketplace. So all I can say is that I agree with Rob 100%. Everybody should be drinking ketones. Like, if you want a great life, a healthy life, you want to feel good, you want your family to feel good, get yourself fueled on ketones, because there's nothing like it. If you haven't tried it, if you're on a Zoom, someone say, hey, jump on and learn about ketones or Keto OS. Get a 5-day experience. If you're not ready to jump into a 30-day, get a 5-day. Just see what you think. Drink it for 5 days. I'm telling you, by day 3, you're going to be knocking down your friend's door saying, hey, give me some more of that stuff. It's amazing. So make sure whoever invited you, if you haven't tried ketones, get off the Zoom, get with that person, and get some ketones in your hand so you can start drinking it in the morning. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you jumping on with us. If you have questions, get with whoever invited you, and we'll make sure that we get all those answered. All right? You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining in. Good night.